Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 126. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Greg Jeffries, a regular guy who never had a job that paid him over $20,000 per year before tax. For the past decade, Greg spent his time learning online marketing on nights and weekends, failed many times and spent thousands of dollars, but finally had a breakthrough and achieved his first six-figure purely affiliate commissions from SEO. Hello, Greg.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. I know the clan is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your own online business? Take us right up to the last job or business before you online.
Yeah, so I started out like grew up middle class. Went to college. Didn't really know what I wanted to do in college, but I went to art school, so I have a design background. Finished that, got a degree in design, and then afterwards, I'm from Mississippi in the U.S. And then after that, after college, I moved out to Austin, Texas in 2010. So that's kind of when I officially moved into like the workforce and started, having my first official jobs and stuff after college. And so I found, some just kind of design / marketing jobs, and I never really, could never really crack the code of working my way up the corporate ladder and like trading my time for what I was really worth. So I was always underpaid, or found myself in jobs that wasn't really worth my time. So I didn't make a ton of money. So I didn't know how I could do that for a long time. So luckily, we have the internet and stuff. So I've always been entrepreneurial. I just didn't know really how to be, how to work for yourself or whatever, and how to I let a lot of limiting beliefs hold me back, of things like taxes and all this stuff that I didn't know, which I still don't know, and it's fine. You just make money and you'll figure that out along the way. But so I basically started my internet marketing journey kind of on nights and weekends. So and I built up multiple passive streams of income that way. But it didn't really have like a breakthrough until a couple of years in, probably like 2015, 2016, when I finally started to go to these live events with other internet marketers. And that was really helpful because it allowed me to connect with other people that were on my same level or maybe doing much better than me, and kind of compare and contrast what I was doing compared to what they were doing. And what I found was that I actually knew a lot more than some of these people that were making more. I guess I just wasn't confident in the things that I knew. And so by going to those events, it really built up my confidence level. And I basically came back home from those after I went to a couple of them in 2016. And then I just started to work, and implement the things that I had learned over the last couple of years. So it was the action that got me the results. But it took me a while to build up the confidence that what I knew was actually going to work. So and then I officially started working for myself full time in the December of 2016. So and then last year, 2017, was my first year to hit six figures. So it was really, I know I don't want to sound all like woo woo and spiritual and stuff, but you've probably heard this before. It's a lot of it has to do with the mental aspect, because the working, it's not really that hard. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. But it's kind of being confident in what you're doing and then just putting in the action to get the results. So I definitely took a slower approach or a slower route to get to where I'm at. But even what I do, like with what I do, it's mostly SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, which means I optimize content to rank in search engines, which is not the most maybe fun or exciting or fast approach to marketing. But even with that, I was able to make over 6 figures last year just doing that from affiliate side. So I don't work with clients or anything. A lot of people that are doing SEO do it, work with clients, and they may have a 6 or 7 figure agency, but they're tied to those clients and they don't have a lot of free time. So I'm a one-man show, so I work for myself. I don't have any employees or clients, and all my money is pretty much passive and recurring. So I have a lot of friends in the internet marketing space there. They make more money than me with running paid traffic with Facebook and stuff, but they're kind of envious of me at the same time because a lot of their money is tied to working with clients and stuff. So all my, like, I can just do whatever I want pretty much all day now, just because that money's coming in regardless of whether I work or not. So I'm in a good place right now finally. So
that's a journey. Wow.
Yeah, it's worth it. I'm glad that I'm here now. I wouldn't want to do it over again, but and my only advantage really was that I got started early. I would not want to redo this for another decade, but I'm thankful that I'm here now. I'm still pretty young, thank goodness. But that was my big advantage, was that I had the opportunity to kind of start at a young age. Like, I started in my early 20s, and then it took me kind of like until now to really have my big breakthrough.
So now if you say now for a younger age, now my listeners, they might be already in their 30s, 40s. They will be like, is it too late now?
Absolutely not. Like, start wherever you're at. I mean, you can't get back. You can't, buy back time wherever you're at. So just get started. I mean, I just couldn't bear the idea of, like, the lie I would tell myself in my 20s was, oh, well, maybe I'll make it in 5 years. Maybe I'll make it in 10 years. And then once I hit 30, I was like, I can't say that anymore. Like, in 10 years, I'll be 40, and I don't know how long I'll live. So I have to figure it out, like, now, because I don't want to keep telling myself in 5 years, in 2 years, in 10 years, I'll be there. Like, I want to make it, like, as soon as possible, because I want to start doing more fun things, eating out more, traveling around the world now. Like, I want to live that life ideally in my 20s, but, it took me till my early 30s to hit it. But luckily I'm here now and I'm starting to do those things. So I just, there's no excuse. I didn't have, again, I had, I grew up middle class. I didn't have a lot of money, and I certainly didn't have any great jobs. So everybody's got different situations, but I certainly didn't have a surplus of money or income coming in to start my journey. So I leveraged credit cards. Luckily, I had good credit. So that was kind of how I financed my education and, like, the internet marketing world. I'm buying courses, tons of courses and mentors and softwares and products and stuff over the years. So you just do what you have to do. Again, I'm definitely don't claim to be the smartest guy in the room, but you have to be resourceful. And that was a resource that I had. I know, and depending on where you are in the world, you may not have access to, like, tons of credit, but in the States, it's pretty abundant. So you just have to, when I first got started, I didn't know that you could have multiple, like, more than maybe 2 credit cards or something. So I just had 1 or 2. And then eventually I found out, oh, you can have more. So I applied for more, got more, and that allowed me to kind of scale quicker and just, buy more tools and go to some of these live events, because these live events are not really expensive. But I would tell myself that they were, because when you factor in a flight, meals, a hotel, and then the cost of the event, it can come up to like $2,000 to $3,000 maybe. And that it seems like a lot, but I always make my money back. It only takes one relationship and, one deal, and you'll probably pretty much meet that one relationship at all these events. And I usually meet several people that, and that's what really can help you along the way, is building those relationships, because we all need friends. We all need help. Like, I don't believe in the people that claim that they're a one-man or a self-made millionaire. We all need help. We all have friends that are better and have strengths that we're weak in and stuff. And so it's nice to be able to bounce ideas off people that kind of think like you. So definitely recommend going to live events.
Wow. Okay. What is the most dangerous belief an online entrepreneur can have?
One of the most dangerous beliefs? Just kind of that self-doubt, because, and luckily we live in a very connected world where pretty much anything that you want to do has probably already been accomplished. So you really just have to seek out those people that have done those things, sort of, and see if you can, get in touch with them, whether it be at a live event or a Skype call or phone call or something, and pay them whatever you have to do, whatever you have to pay them to get that information. Because a lot of times, like with live events, the whole purpose of me going to some live events is sometimes to meet a particular speaker. Though I don't sure, there's people in the crowd that are also there, and they're probably just as quality relationships to build. But a lot of times I will make the sacrifice to pay, $2,000-$3,000 to be at an event to meet one of the speakers. Why? Because I can ask them one question, and that's all I care about. Because if I can extract that information from them, that can help me make $100,000 this year. So that the one to answer your question is definitely limiting beliefs, because a lot of that stuff is your mind tells you it's false. You just have to kind of learn to think differently, think outside the box, and kind of overcome those fears.
Why do you do what you do, Greg?
On a simple level, I just want to freedom. I think a lot of entrepreneurs that work for themselves, it's just that freedom. So yeah, it's definitely hard and time consuming on the front end, like when you first get started, but any business or any endeavor is. And, eventually you get to a point where you're not working as hard, but the money, it's still coming in, or maybe you're making even more money for less work. But it's definitely the freedom to be able to be on a podcast in the middle of the day for me, go walk around in a park downtown or something, or go to, whatever, London or Canada for a couple of days on the weekend or something, and not have to worry about the money, because the money is going to come in, and probably I'll make more while I'm on the trip and to cancel it out and stuff like that. So definitely for the freedom, but also kind of on a bigger scale, bigger level. I want to do it reaches a point where you have enough money for yourself. So what do you do with the rest of it? And I do want to make millions and millions of dollars, but not really for myself, because I don't have enough stuff to really buy with all that money. So I want to do really big things like, giving back in different ways. I don't know exactly what I want to use the money for just yet. I just know that I'll need a lot, and I'd rather be the person in a position that has the money, rather than someone who's kind of begging for handouts with a nonprofit or something. That's another way to get it. But I'd rather, instead of asking for permission, I'd rather have the resources and the money to just whatever I wanted to do to help somebody on a large scale or a large level, that I could just, make that decision and, give that money to whatever cause I choose. And in order to be a big giver, you've got to have a lot to give. So that's the bigger reason why I'm working hard and trying to generate millions of dollars, because so I can be able to make a bigger impact in the world later down the road.
Okay. On internet marketing, there are so many spaces. There's different markets you can be in, or you would have taken. Why affiliate marketing?
Honestly, it was kind of the lowest barrier to entry. So there's basically two kinds of approaches to internet marketing. So you've got the quote free traffic, which is SEO, which is what I do, and then you've got paid traffic, which is all the other stuff. So pay-per-click, Facebook advertising, anything that requires money to actually step in front of those eyeballs and those visitors. And the reason I chose SEO is because while it is kind of maybe slow and tedious, or that's the perception, I didn't have a lot of money, so that was kind of my only option, or at least that seemed to be my only option. I could have maxed out credit cards and experimented with pay-per-click, but I just chose to go down SEO, because with SEO, if you fail, you just lose the time. You don't really lose a lot of money. I'm not spending money a lot of times to rank videos or to rank websites. It's just the time invested. Whereas with pay-per-click, a lot of people are drawn to Facebook ads and things as ways of making money, because they see one marketer post their screenshots of how they made like $10,000 in a day, and that's probably true. But what they don't tell you is they probably spent $50,000, fine tuning that campaign to get it just right. And so you got to have that budget's got to come from somewhere. So where are you going to get the money? So that's kind of why I chose SEO.
Why do you recommend leveraging like marketplaces when you want to start online businesses?
Yeah, so my last official job was working at an e-com store. They had a brick and mortar business, but they had a big presence online, and we sold in multiple different marketplaces. So I was doing that in the day, and on the nights and weekends I was doing my own affiliate stuff. And the aha moment I had was that the physical products that we were selling in the e-com space on these multiple different marketplaces, it basically it goes hand in hand with all the affiliate stuff. So some examples of the e-com world are Amazon, eBay, Rakuten, Newegg, Jet.com, Zulily. Those are a couple of marketplaces to sell on physical products. On the digital side of things, some examples of marketplace might be JVZoo, ClickBank, ShareASale. Those are affiliate networks. Some course platforms are Udemy and Skillshare. And so it's a really, you'll have a significant advantage if you're just starting out, if you want to get some traction right out of the gate, to leverage these marketplaces. And the reason why is a lot of times they're either free or very inexpensive to list your product on that marketplace, and you're not having to pay for traffic. So the traffic is already there on that domain and on that website. So they've got tons and tons of visitors. And so you're leveraging their that traffic source, that traffic that's already there, and then you're also leveraging the credibility and the brand and authority of that domain. So like if you sell a Kindle book, which is free to do, if you sell that on Amazon, you're really just trying to kind of convince them that that's like a good book to purchase or whatever. But they already trust Amazon. They probably have an account. They're having a credit card there, so you're not having to convince them that they're buying this from a non-trustworthy site, if that makes sense. So if they're buying it off your personal site, they may be like, well, I don't know, do they have like a money back guarantee or something? I don't feel really safe. But like with eBay or Udemy or Skillshare or or Amazon, you're just leveraging that brand, so you get the traffic and you can and their brand authority, and so you're kind of avoid having to be a really awesome marketer to kind of make that sale. You literally just show up. And in my experience with Kindle books, with courses, with all these platforms, I pretty much have made some money literally by just publishing the content to those marketplaces with zero marketing whatsoever. Like literally just publishing a Kindle book, I've always made a sale of at least one of those books. And it doesn't have to be some elaborate book or anything either. And then with courses, I've always made sales of my courses, never marketed them. So it's these are great platforms, these marketplaces as a kind of a stepping stone to get you some cash flow coming in so that you can eventually do your own thing, because ultimately you want to create your own product so that you can keep 100% of the profit, because these marketplaces, they're obviously going to take their fees. And ultimately, you want to have your own product, because that's something that you can control. While these platforms do give you leverage, they are ultimately in control. They have their own terms and conditions. And if you're selling for yourself, then it's just whatever you choose to do or not. Like you have to abide by any terms and conditions with your own products.
Why is it such a massive opportunity with the SEO? I thought that is already finished, because there's loads of social media going on. I thought that was already dead.
Yeah. Oh no. So SEO's been around since the beginning of the internet, and it's not going anywhere. So it's my approach to SEO, and why I say it's pretty evergreen and sustainable, is that there's always, like, until this changes. I'm sure there'll be some way that this might change in the future, but probably not anytime in the near future. But most people find information online through search engines. That's unless they know exactly where they're going, they'll type in like facebook.com. But otherwise, if you're trying to find information online, you use a search engine. So being able to show up on page one for a particular term, that's I don't see that going anywhere in the next decade or so. So that's how people are always going to find information until that changes. I don't know how that's going to change, but I'm sure eventually down the road it might. But my angle with SEO to kind of give people more of an edge when they're just starting out, to help them get traction sooner, is to focus on what's called long tail keywords. So those are the more descriptive search phrases that people type in. So, and the reason why I focus on those is because they're far less competitive and they have more buyer intent behind them. So one example of a search term that might get a lot of volume, but doesn't really have like a lot of buyer intent behind it, is running shoes or men's shoes. Like, I don't know what that person is searching for that search term for. Like, I don't know if they're doing research. Are they interested in buying shoes? I don't know. But if they're typing in red men's Nike running shoes, there's probably a lot higher chance that they're a guy, or they're buying a shoe for a man and they want that specific type of shoe, like a red Nike men's running shoe. And it's much simpler. It takes a lot less effort, almost no effort, to rank for those long tail keywords. So you can, while they do get less searches each month, they since they're so easy to rank for and take almost no effort, if you put forth the effort to optimize your content, whether it be like a video or a blog post, to rank for each, like hundreds of those keywords, you're going to be pulling in just as much traffic or more traffic than typing in something as generic as just men's shoes or running shoes. And naturally over time, like if you're developing a blog, and more traffic's coming to that blog, naturally over time, because you're ranking for multiple long tail keywords and bringing in all that organic traffic, eventually over time you're going to start to naturally rank for the more competitive stuff because you're ranking for those long tail keywords. So it's a really simple way to kind of get your foot in the door, get some initial traction, and start to build up that passive like snowball. And as it gets bigger and bigger, it's going to get easier and easier, like to rank new articles even for more competitive stuff. So like the more articles you publish in the future, as you start to build this authority website or maybe a authority YouTube channel that gets lots and lots of views, it's going to be, your stuff's going to rank naturally, like as soon as you publish it, once you start to build up that credibility and authority.
Let's put man aside. How did you know you were successful?
How did I know I was successful? Well, for me, it was just having enough, and the first goal was having enough to cancel out all my expenses. So as long as I had enough to do that, that was good enough for me. That was goal number one, to not have any debt. And once I reached that point, that was really, and it's kind of, again, all about freedom. So if I have more money coming in than what's going out, I don't really have any worries. So once I reached that level, which, I was making a couple $1,000s, like my expenses are still only about a couple thousand, if I take away all marketing expenses. So I hit that around about the time I quit my last job, which is December 2016. So my only expenses outside of that were marketing expenses, different like tools and software subscriptions and stuff. But that was what I judge or gauge as far as like success, is just basically having enough money to come in to pay for your expenses, to live a comfortable life, to where, if you want to go out and do something like go to a movie or go to a restaurant, $20, $50, maybe $100 isn't outside of, isn't a stretch or, too much of a strain on your budget. If you have that, if you can do that and just like live a normal, what I consider like a normal life, I don't think, some people may think that going out to eat at a restaurant, even if it's every night of the week, is like, you got to be rich or high status, but you got to think like, it's just one meal. Now, you don't have to eat at like the most fancy restaurant every single night of the week, but you only live once, and life is pretty short. So if you can at least enjoy like, something fun for yourself every occasionally. And we need breaks, especially as entrepreneurs. We're working all the time. You need breaks, and you need to be able to reward yourself. And if you don't have the budget to do that, then that just kind of adds another layer of like stress to your life. So that's kind of how I judge success, is at least being able to cancel out your basic expenses with a little bit left over to enjoy some fun things in life.
Greg, can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are some people more cut out of it than others?
I like to believe that anybody can be an entrepreneur, but the truth is that everybody's just not wired for it, and that's fine. Some people see other people flashing, big stacks of money and Lamborghinis and flying on private jets and stuff, and that's great. Some people can aspire to be those, to get to that same level, but the truth is, not everybody wants that, and that's okay. We need people working at restaurants. We need people working at hotels. Otherwise, when I check in there, I get my food, like I don't have anybody to bring it to me. So there's different people are passionate about different things, and if you have a great job and you love it, awesome, stick with that job. Hopefully it's a job that pays you enough, for your time. So that's would be my only concern there, is just make sure you're getting compensated fairly for your time to provide a decent life for yourself in exchange for that time. But I like to believe that anybody that wants to achieve financial freedom, work for themselves, can certainly do that. But it's not for everybody.
I know you mentioned you went to live events and you bought loads of programs, so I presume you had mentors and coaches along the way?
Oh, absolutely. And one of the big frustrating points for me was I kind of approach every problem as kind of like a puzzle, and every piece or every piece of information is kind of like a puzzle piece. And a lot, like, what frustrates me is if there's one or two pieces missing. And it's one thing if you don't know the answer, but it's another thing, it's even kind of more frustrating when you don't even know the question to ask. You don't have the full solution, but you don't even know the questions to ask sometimes. So sometimes that just takes time. I promise you, if you're disciplined and you're persistent, you just stay in the game. You will eventually find the questions, and you'll eventually find those answers. You'll find the people that have those answers, and you'll find yourself in the right place at the right time to be able to ask the right question to the right person. So it was a little bit, that part of working for yourself is a little challenging, because sometimes, again, you don't know the person that you need to ask the question to, because sometimes you'll ask the right question to the wrong person and they'll say that can't be done, and you're like, I don't think so. And don't buy into people telling you things can't be done, but just, it may take some time to kind of and persistence to find that right person that says, oh yeah, I think that can be done. The answer is easy, like here it is. That answers your question.
Okay. What is the most valuable thing your mentors or coaches has told you?
Definitely, hands down, I had a very influential mentor in high school. He was an art teacher, but he was, gave me a lot of life skills and advice as well. And the last thing he told me before I left high school was, pick one thing in life and be the best at it. That's not to say that you can't be good or great at multiple things, but definitely pick one thing that sets you apart from everybody else. So when people think of your name, they think of that one thing that you're exceptional at. So definitely pick one thing in life and be the best at it. So that's why I kind of navigated towards SEO. And I always love learning new things, but I'm slowly putting in more and more time to become kind of like the expert in the affiliate SEO space, because there's a lot of people that do SEO, but there's not a ton of people that have like that benchmark course, the go-to affiliate SEO course. So that's kind of what I'm moving to become with the course that I have. So definitely pick one thing in life and be the best at it.
Okay. Tell us more about your SEO affiliate domination.
Yeah, so if you go to SEOaffiliatedomination.com, that's my course, and it teaches you a a blueprint, kind of a framework of my strategy. And so it's broken down into a couple sections. The first part is the steps and the tools I use and how to put them all together. The second part is a bunch of different ways to apply it and scale it, because I don't like when somebody just kind of gives you a blueprint and they're like, good luck, figure it out. I want to show people a bunch of different ways to use it, because I don't want to rely on them trying to figure out the best way to use it. So I give them a bunch of different ways that they can apply the strategy. And then I show them some case studies, some real life case studies of results that I'm getting. And then additionally, I'm adding in some interviews with experts, kind of in the internet marketing, affiliate marketing space. So my whole goal for the course is it's kind of geared towards everybody, whether you're a newbie, intermediate marketer, or a little bit more advanced and and you're interested in SEO. So the whole goal of the course is to really get people to help teach and train them to build up a passive income stream that is going to replace their 9-to-5 and get them to at least $100 to $200 a day passively. So while you can make 6 and 7 figures with these strategies, my main goal is to just get you to cancel out your expenses so that you don't have to. So basically, you can leave your 9-to-5 and just have that internet lifestyle, freedom lifestyle.
Okay, where do we find this fabulous product?
You can go to SEOaffiliatedomination.com, and if you can see stories of other people that have made their money back using the same information, so it's not just me. And if people have any questions, there's a link at the bottom of the page. So if you have any questions before investing in it, they can reach out and I'll answer those.
Anywhere we can connect with you?
They can find me on Facebook. Just type in Greg Jeffries. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. I also have a website called imsource.org. If you go to imsource.org and then click on contact, that'll be like a direct link to my Facebook. So if they have trouble finding it on Facebook, that'll be the direct link and they can add me there.
So, Clan, there will be more from Greg in a moment. If you are finding Greg's journey interesting and you are ready to hear more, come and listen to the full version of the interview at onlinesuccessjourney.com. If you're on onlinesuccessjourney.com already, click on part 2 of Greg's journey and you'll get lots of more tips to help you with your own online business, what you want to do. And don't forget, you can also access all other online success interview podcasts on the site as well. That's a wrap, Clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Greg.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.